How's everybody? How's everybody? All right, let me get everything set up here. I was having a little dessert with my kiddos here. Hold on. Yeah, for anybody on YouTube there, I'm honestly, I'm just gonna shut the YouTube thing down pretty soon. Just hop on the Zoom link. It's a whole lot easier, Alrighty. All right, let's get started. Let's see. Let me open up Google Chrome. All right, and let's get into it. So how's everybody doing? How's the week starting off? I was able to snag a nice little 1 to 10 on GA this morning. So I was pretty happy with that for a Tuesday. And yeah, we'll get into it. If you guys are, what's up, man? Yeah, good morning, good night, good afternoon for some of you guys. If you guys are looking at something, you guys know how I like to do it. I'll run through my setup, kind of my stuff that I'm looking at, and then we'll kind of just break down the charts. We'll see if there's anything coming out of it that kind of piques my interest. Really, the calendar itself, other than just some PMI stuff coming out, not real big. I am going to be paying attention. So CAD CPI, but also the crude inventories, which is really going to affect the CAD. And I'm really looking at a couple of Canadian pairs this week. And then, of course, all the euro and pound PMI stuff. That's going to kind of move some stuff. I know they just snuck this in, and I am very, very interested at looking at the U.S. Department of Treasury currency report. I cannot wait to see what is in that. I'm going to be that's going to be a weekend thing for me to read. It's going to be pretty interesting. I really like it because this just follow this line. Market impact tends to vary and is mostly dependent on which countries the report will accuse of currency manipulation. So I can't wait to read that. We're going to see who the Treasury Department is deeming as manipulating their currencies. And I'm even more eager to see if they're going to name their own, Treasury Department, not Treasury Department, but their own Federal Reserve, their own World Bank at manipulating the market. So we'll see how that goes. You can bet that Friday, whenever that does come out, and I'm sure as we get closer to Friday, there is going to be a little, more insight onto when that report's going to be released. My guess, it'll probably be afternoon time Friday, because if it's going to be in the morning, that's going to set up more of an interview process for the Treasury Department. And to be honest, I don't even know who the Treasury Secretary is anymore. Obviously, under the previous administration, Steve Mnuchin did a pretty good job of explaining a lot of stuff, and who knows what they're doing now. So that's what's on the calendar. Let's get into the charts. A couple updates on some of the stuff that I am still holding, stuff that I'm looking at. Actually, for those in crypto, I dropped flow a couple weeks ago. I went ahead and I'm in 2 positions off this $16 and the $13.25 range. I ended up actually getting into another position yesterday, just cost dollar averaging in. I really like the area that we're in. And just from where we're currently at to all-time highs is going to be just over 225%. So I do like flow. If you haven't done your work in looking at what flow is, I highly suggest watch the video on my YouTube. It's essentially tied to Dapper Labs. Dapper Labs is in everything. So they're in the NFT space, especially the sporting world NFT space. So as that starts to materialize, I see this really starting to appreciate. So are they really? Well, listen, for those of you that have been maybe stuck under a log, BTC is about ready to make an all-time high. So, we're at the moment of truth. Everybody was saying that this, oh, it's the end, and I'll just give you my 2 cents. If you're not in the crypto world, if you're not in the crypto space, right now is not the time to buy Bitcoin, right? I would let this sucker break above this high. And then, point of interest number 1, point of interest number 2, right? That's essentially where I'm looking. I'm personally not going to be buying any more BTC. I've got the altcoins I'm going to be looking at. So, altcoins kind of tend to lag slightly behind BTC. But yeah, all day long, this is doing great. And of course, its sister Ethereum is getting ready to reaccumulate and hopefully relatively soon break this all-time high as well. So crypto world, I'm doing really, I'm on my investment side is doing really well. The staking side is doing very well as well. If you guys aren't in, liquidity pools, I would definitely look at it. One of the things I'll throw out there, and this is something I threw all the guys in my group, take a look at QuickSwap, right? Where is QuickSwap up here? I know I just saw it. Anchor staking, QuickSwap. Take a look at QuickSwap, right? They'll pay you out in Quick. Quick is actually, it's in the top 300 coins, really, really, pretty nice. But what I would be looking at is these liquidity mining pools. I don't know which one this is at here. Let's see if it. All right, well, hold on. Let me just pull up the screenshots because then I'm gonna have to log into everything and it's just gonna be a pain. But they are paying out. They are paying out. Where is it? Crypto staking. Here we go. We are seeing. Yeah, if you're gonna be if you want to add some Ethereum and US dollar coin, they're paying out 47%. Ethereum, US dollar tether, 35% for the stable side. And if you want to do some Matic, right? If you got some Matic and US dollar coin, 159%. Matic and Tether, 89%, and then Matic and Quick, 49%. So you did get it done. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Yeah. I went back. I did some today. So I did. That's why I dropped it this morning. Because I threw. I had a bunch of US dollar coin left over from a hotspot that I sold, and so I threw it in with some Matic. I had some Matic that was laying around, so I went ahead and staked it all. So yeah, I mean, 159%, you can't go wrong. Yeah, and the pool is actually doing pretty well. Pool is at 25 million, so it's not like it's a small pool. But yeah, I would just take a look at that stuff. It's your investment. You guys figure out how you want to play it, but I would definitely be, now is the time to be sitting on your holdings, right, and using that to do to make you that residual money. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Let's go over to let's go active orders, right? So we'll start with Cat Chef, right? Last Tuesday, right? Last Tuesday, where's that chart at? Last Tuesday, I dropped that chart. We went over it. Bear with me. Where's that chart? Yeah, right here. So last Tuesday, we dropped that chart. And here she was. We were just looking to play the continuation play, right? I was looking at the 85-minute candle lined up with 50% of the 1 minute imbalance. I had said that I was going to split the order. I was going to put a smaller, tighter entry off of that reaccumulation. So it ended up playing pretty nicely. And I don't know if you guys, if everyone has gone through and taken a look at it, but essentially, this is what I was looking to play out of. So there's a seconds time frame reaccumulation in this 1 minute candle, right? Most of you guys maybe will call it like an order block. If for me, it's just a reaccumulation. My tight entry, I had a little $50 risk with a stop loss below that block line. And then of course, the rest of the risk was based off of this 85-minute candle, full volume candle. So as price went in there, I had this order set right here. And that entry right there was about a 1.3 pip stop, or you had the 5.2 pip stop you could have taken off the bottom. And as price actually comes in, there was a really, really nice London entry, right? So you can come over here and look at it. Out of London, we have, this essentially accumulation that really doesn't do anything. You have this distribution that occurs during Asian, right? And then you've got the Frankfurt Open that just sweeps all of that down. So for me, the play, the play was simple, play out of this manipulation. And for those of you guys that always ask, do wicks count? You're damn right they do for me, because that right there was the confirmation for the entry, right? This is the high that we needed to break to confirm the reaccumulation, and that's how I was going to play out of it. So essentially that wick, that one pipette wick, is what created the confirmation for the entry. And when we look, or when you look at it, there's a couple of things that I looked at. It was the most voluminous candle that I can find in this price action. If we go over to it, right, the 1 minute looks pretty good, but the 15-second was the most voluminous candle, right? So you measure that 15-second candle, 80% is where the play essentially came into. And as price comes into that area, you're looking at a 1.5 pip stop. Price breaks, and there's your entry right there. And as soon as that happened, I'd be at reduced risk. So from there, really nice. This is actually where I woke up and we were kind of already in here. So this was a really nice play. Partials were taken, right? Partials were taken at the next high. Right up here. So the bigger order, the 5.2, was a 1 to 11. My order was a 1 to 22 off that 1.5. And then if you got in at London, it was a 1 to 41. So really nice play. I'm personally looking for continuations. Son of a gun, I was looking, what time did this come in? 10 o'clock in the morning. Why didn't my alert go off? So this morning, I was actually looking for price to come back into this area. Where the heck was that watch list? Yeah, so this was this morning. What time did I take this at? So at 8:30 this morning, 8:30, I was looking for price to come back into this area here. I wanted to see us kind of trade into this reaccumulation right there. I guess maybe I was doing something with my kids. I didn't see it. Tuesdays, I really don't get too crazy with the charts. But she came right in to where I wanted it to do something. And yeah, no, I wouldn't have taken any entry on it. It gave a couple of type 2s in there. That's about it. So from here on CATCHF, realistically, what I'm going to be waiting for is I'm going to be waiting for this high up here to get taken now, get a new high. And if we get a new high, for me, I'm going to be looking, if this is my slingshot that gets us up there, this is going to be my first point of interest. And then, all day long, just look at those 15-minute candles. That's where I'm going to be playing. So was that reaccumulation your slingshot? What reaccumulation? This one here? Now, I mean, I really didn't have a slingshot in here. Like when you look at it, I wanted this, because when we looked at it, I don't know if you were on the call this morning, but when we looked at it, this for me gave the mitigation out of here. I just didn't have enough to take a limit order, so that's why I didn't do it. I'm curious to see if it came. It looks like it came right into 50% of the entire reaccumulation. Did it? Sure enough, smack dab on the 50% of the accumulation. Well, all righty. Smack dab right on the 50% of it. It is what it is. But yeah, so going forward, I'm still looking for upside momentum on this. Now, just keep in mind, higher time frame, we potentially are seeing price start to slow down and come into a distribution, right? This could be our PSY. This could be our first change of character climax to the AR, right? This could have been a secondary test. And then we're potentially going to see an up thrust or another secondary test and maybe a UTAT. So just keep that in mind. We are relatively close to breaking this high right here. And let me get this off. Yeah, so we're relatively close to breaking these highs up here. And if that happens, I'd be expecting a pullback to get priced back into some more discounted pricing. But short term, yeah, short term all day long, I'm going to be looking to take this higher. I'm still holding about 50% volume on the buys from Friday or Thursday, I say. So that is CAD CHF. Chef JPY, listen, Chef JPY. Yeah. I can't tell you how happy I am with it. I know I saw a lot of people trying to sell JPY crosses, right? And this is one of the reasons I stopped counter trend trading. I just don't do it anymore. And I mean, if I could work a hedge in, I'll work a hedge, but listen, momentum's bullish. Why am I trying to fight this? Why am I trying to sell it? Where's the thing here? This is what I looked at this morning. I looked at a couple of JPY crosses right here. And I mean, nothing about this or this or this or that says sell, right? Nothing about that tells me sell. So I'm going to play the continuation plays, right? Just an update on this little sucker right here. She is sitting at a 1 to, is it a 1 to 85 now? Yeah, 1 to 85 on the bigger entry. And we got to be creeping up on like 470 right now. This is sitting at 467, a 1 to 467. So it's my biggest trade I've ever had. Again, nowhere close to, like full risk. All I did was just throw a small risk on it, but you don't need to put big risk on that. It's currently sitting at 650 pips in profit and nothing has changed, right? This is still the main point of interest. And this accumulation down here off that 30-minute is going to be where I'm going to be setting my limit when we break the intraday structure. So ideally long-term play, right? We've made this high, right? And my limit order is set off of that. Wasn't your previous big? Yeah, 1 to 287. Yep. Back in December. Yeah. So my biggest was 1 to 287, and this one here is darn about ready to double it. So yeah, for all those people that were giving me grief all those months ago about trading Chef JPY, that's all I'm going to say. 1 to 470 is coming. Yeah. So the 30-minute, I've got a limit order off that 30-minute. And then if we do come into this price action here, obviously I'm going to take, I've got an alert down here. I'll take an accumulation out of it, but short term, right? Short term, I'm going to play out of all these reaccumulations that took all these sellers up. We've got these reaccumulations going on in here. And, for me, the 30-minute candle is the candle at Frankfurt Open that swept Asian lows. Now, for me, the 30-minute candle has been mitigated, right? So we engulfed it and we came back. But when we look at what, we have an accumulation in here, and then we have a reaccumulation right there. So ideally, what I want to see price do is I want to see price come into this area here and simply give me an accumulation, right? If I can get an accumulation somewhere in like this area here, that's where I'm going to take a buy. All right. There's no limit order I'm going to set off of it. But we clearly have a reaccumulation. We have reason for price to come, lower. I mean, looking at this, I could tell that that's a distribution there. I have no desire whatsoever to try to sell it. I'm just going to wait. I'll wait for price. And hopefully, we can, Asian session will maybe bring this sucker down a little bit. We'll get a Frankfurt sweep, London sweep, something like that, break, then get in here to ride it up during New York. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at right there. All right, cool. Yeah, so Chef JPY short term, buying out of this, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Target wise, right? Target wise, and my first targets that I was looking to do all these long time, I was looking to get above this area supply, right? This distribution. And now you can see I've got targets in my sight. We need to mitigate out of this. And this is the area, right? This is the area that we need to get into. Specifically this is what I want to trade up to. So, I'll let you guys know in a couple of months how it goes, but I plan on holding runners off of those 2 entries all the way up into like the 134 range. And that'll be a pretty significant play. I mean, that may, I don't know how long it's going to take, but that may bring us to, I mean, let's just see. I mean, my entry was around here. I mean, that's about almost a 1700 pip move. So we'll see how long it takes, but nothing about this, higher time frame chart is telling me that Chef JPY is bearish. So I'm going to continue to look for those buys. All right. So that's Chef JPY. EG, right? EG. Let's talk about EG. So yeah, I figured, I know this morning we got the run of this buyer's trap accumulation that I really had no desire to even look for buys out of. We did trade below it, which is great. And what I wanted to see was, I've got an alert up here. This is going to be an order flow play. I'll be honest, it's not on my favorite to-do list. If I get a distribution tomorrow in here and I see it, I'll take it. If not, I'm going to be actually looking up higher, right? I'm going to be looking for price to actually come back up into this high right here, and specifically this area. For me, it's the 136-minute candle is the full volume candle. That's what I want to play out of. And there she is right there, right? That 136 is what I want to play out of. Yeah, I am. So, and for whatever reason, if that doesn't hold, if I don't get an evidence of anything going on there, just keep in mind that this is the structure point, right? So realistically, we could still come all the way back up into here. All right. I'm still holding this order. I don't remember now what, like 3 weeks ago, maybe. When did this order come in? This order came in, 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago off that H1 that I've been looking at, this thing is sitting, at a little 1 to 21, nothing crazy. We partialed out twice on it. And now I'm just going to be looking for, like I said, just continuation plays into our weekly candle. Or I want to see price trade up and get me some really, some better entries that I can take this down into the weekly. All right. But for me, long term, I'm still looking for these shorts. We are getting closer to the area where I'm going to start looking for a potential hedge buy out of this weekly candle. Right. We're still bullish from this low down here. So in a perfect world, I'd love for this just to get run. We take out this low, then I'd be looking for a hedge buy to get up potentially like up into this distro, because that's what's gonna, this is the setup. Maybe in a couple of months, if we get up here after running this low, this is the setup on EG that I'm really gonna pound down, because we're going to be heading for our reaccumulation or accumulation. That's where we're going to be heading. So if we do that, I'll be looking for something out of here. I still have all these markings from last year set up. And, just looking at, if I can get an entry off like the 9,000 level down to, down to 7,200, right? I mean, we're talking 1,800 pips down into that accumulation. So 1,800 pips on a really tight entry, holding it over a couple of months, that's essentially your year. All right. So that's kind of what I've got going on with EG. Moving on to EU, I'll be honest, like EU and GU both are just kind of like in areas that I really don't care too much for. I was looking for the distribution to play out of order flow. We did get a little bit of a distro, nothing clean, but then we came into an accumulation down here, and you can just see that the reaccumulation was going to occur. So nothing that I really care to see. This is kind of just looking like slop. All right. The DXY did break, right? DXY did break to the downside. Where's she at? Currency index, DXY. Yeah. When we look at the DXY, we did break to the downside, and we did, essentially break that order flow, right? We've got that high up here. So we do have 1, 2, 3 drives. Technically, this is a valid distribution. I'd be more convinced once we break below here. Once we get below maybe like the 93 level, if that happens, then I'd be more convinced about the DXY weakness coming in. Until then, I'm just going to kind of let GU and EU just dance around like they've been doing for the last couple of weeks. On GA, hold on, let's see. Would you take a low risk buy on EU? No, I wouldn't. Yeah, no. Yeah, there's nothing for me to play out of, you know. Yeah. I mean, I'm still like on EU, right? This is our structure point. So yeah, no. I mean, is anything about this chart telling us any strength? We've broken below here, right? So for me, yeah, nothing I really want to play out of. You know, we've broken below demand. So all this to me is sellers accumulating so they can come back and either sell out of certain areas. So yeah, I'm personally not. I'm not going to touch buys on it. Not on EU or GU. I'll just wait. You know, now if we break lower time frame structure and then we come back into it, you know, that's a different story. But not here. Nope. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. So GA, GA was actually pretty nice this morning. Caught a really nice little entry out of, for me, it was the 7-minute candle. This area came into a really nice point of interest, had the 7-minute candle, which was also 80% of our entire spring. So that entry, took that entry, woke up to it. Let's see, I woke up and we were, I don't know, I woke up and I think we were like somewhere in here. So I took my first partials. You know, price ends up coming back into the area that I actually wanted it to come back into. But the price action was just garbage. You know, technically, do we have a 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive? Yes. Did we break? You know, yes. Did we have a reaccumulation here? Yes. Do we have a potential reaccumulation? You know, we have a 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. Here's our trading range. Ideally, what I would love to see is maybe a little bit of just sideways action during Asian. So something like this during Asian. I'd like Frankfurt to sweep it, right? Maybe mitigate into like this lower time frame reaccumulation, and then confirm during London a reaccumulation, and I'll take the mitigation back here to go higher. That's kind of what I want to see happen. That's really the only thing that's going to get me to throw another position at this. You know, I want to see a clear shakeout. I want to see a break, jump across the creek, and then go from there. But I mean, this at the end of New York, you know, obviously it's just typical end of New York crap. You know, like we're just low volume, prices just kind of teetering about. So GA, I'm still looking for that. I was watching the 51-minute candle for what though? 51-minute candle. This 51-minute candle. Yeah, I mean, for me, if I'm going to take something out of that 51-minute candle, we got to break this high. Yeah. How to set up my Asian indicator? Just download the indicator. Yeah, just download it. I mean, there's a bunch out there. Yeah. But the blocky way it is? What do you mean the blocky way? The blocky way. What do you mean the blocky way? Straight up and down. Yeah, go to your settings and just click highs and lows. If you got the one on sessions on the chart. Pay attention to cause and effect. Most times it doesn't lead to a break of structure. It's future liquidity. What do you mean it's future liquidity? Future reason for price to come back and mitigate? Yeah, I mean, I'm still not going to take anything until I see evidence going on in here. Yeah. The 51-minute. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to play out of this price action right here. That's what I'm playing out of. So I want the confirmation. I want this to reaccumulate. Like I said, reaccumulate, get up here during London, and I'll play the mitigation of it and we'll go higher. So for me, we've broken. Well, technically we haven't broken the order flow on this yet, but we've traded above the Asian price action. So just keep in mind that this is a redistribution, right? Obviously we didn't break anything down here, so I'm good with it. You know, like I'm still looking for that upside potential, but at this point, my position's mitigated. My position's not at risk. I've taken the partials I'm going to take, and we just need I'm going to let price do its thing. Am I still looking for sells on US 30? Until we break that distribution. Until we break that distribution, I'm still looking. So yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then GU. So I'll kind of walk you through what I'm looking at GU. So GU, I'm still holding this buy. Actually, I don't even know what the heck, what am I up? I am still holding this buy. Okay. Yeah, I am. I got in 35,789. Yeah. So I'm still holding this buy out of it. Can you go through GCAD? I'll tell you what, if you drop me a chart on GCAD and you tell me what the directional bias on GCAD is, I will gladly go through the chart. If someone can tell me what, and from a higher time frame perspective, not a 5-minute chart, I want you to get on the 4-hour chart or the daily chart, and I'll let you go back 20 years because that's, I think, how long we've been sideways on GCAD. But if you can tell me what the directional bias is, I will gladly go through that crappy of a chart. Yeah, nope, it doesn't. So that's why I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. I don't think I've taken a GCAD trade in at least 2 years. At least 2 years. Yeah. So it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, this was a nice little entry that we grabbed. It's sitting, I don't know, it was at 254 pips, sitting at about 200 pips. Currently at like a 1 to 43 on it. I am looking for the hedge in here though. Right. So I want to see price kind of get back up into this area. I want to get a distribution. This is going to be essentially the area that I want to look for the sell opportunity. I think this looks a whole lot better than EU's. But again, this is just order flow, right? This is going to be just order flow. Structure is being maintained up here to the left because of this high, right? Because of this high right here. So, we've continued through the slingshot. We are technically this would be my slingshot here. So this was like the order flow slingshot. But if we get into this distribution here, I'm going to be looking for that. I do have a really, really, really small order out of this micro. For me, it's worth the risk. So I'm perfectly happy taking that entry. I'm going to try and hedge into it. And if you come in here, you can see, if you don't have the seconds time frame, just come on the 1 second chart and you should be able to see it coming right out of this entire push right here. But you've got your 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, UTAD, right? Climax, test, up thrust, UTAD. So this is my UTAD. I've got, I don't remember what the stop loss was, but yeah, 2.5 pips from the 80%. So that's essentially where I'm going to be looking to play. And we'll see how it comes up. I'm going to try and get up early in the morning. We'll see. It's only Wednesday, but I'd like to see price get up into that area and start building something. Right. And we'll see, obviously you could see the reaccumulation that occurs here with our creek, the accumulation in here. So distro into the accumulation, this would be the continuation play that came out of New York session yesterday. So I'm looking for that weakness. If I don't see the weakness, I'm just going to continue to hold this buy because there's no reason for me to close out of the buy. All right. But that's what I've got on GU. I'm going to be looking specifically right in this area right here, out of this last drive. Okay. And we'll see if we can get a push down. If not, like I said, I'm still holding the buy and I'll just hedge right into it and take my earnings off of the buy. All right. Out of primary, so ACAD, I was looking for the sell. just out of order flow simply, right? We were looking out of order flow and I never got the confirmation for my sell. We were looking on Friday, price just continued never to break structure, but continue to make a new high and a new high and a new high. So out of that, what do we have? We have a reaccumulation, right? You could see your accumulation, you could see your reaccumulation, and you could see your reaccumulation. So I am still holding, and I know a lot of other people are still holding the sell from right up here out of this 410-minute candle. I'm going to be looking to, essentially mitigate out of this area. And specifically for me, it's going to be this area right here that I want to see that mitigation. So around the 93,200 level. How do you find these full body candles? Yes, look at every time frame. Yep. Yeah. So I'm going to be looking for a hedge, and I talked about it this morning. I'm going to be looking to get in off of these two areas right here. So if ACAD, because I'm holding the sell, I'm going to hedge in off the buy. I'm going to be looking for accumulations out of this area here or out of this area right here. Right. So you have an accumulation, you have a reaccumulation that occurs in there. And that's kind of how I'm going to play it. I'll see if I can work ACAD up and, ideally, if we can come into this area, that'd be really nice, because if I can get into there, get a nice little accumulation to play out, take it up, I'll be in the hedge, and, I'll take some partials off of that buy, get into a sell if I can. Once the sell gets protected and break even, I'll close out of the buy. So right now we've got essentially a really clean reaccumulation on ACAD. And you can just see the market cycle playing out accumulation into a reaccumulation into a really drawn out reaccumulation. All right. So I've got my alert right around like the 91,800 level. We get into like the 91,700 or the 91,500s. I'm going to be looking for accumulations to take higher. All right. So that's my play on ACAD. We got a really nice expansionary move here. Obviously, I'm going to be looking for a pullback. I'm not too interested in this right here, simply because this is what confirmed the reaccumulations, right? So this is when it comes to cause and effect, this is the cause, and this is the origination of the entire push. All right. So that's what I'm looking at for ACAD. AJ, so all the JPYs, I'm looking for continuation plays on the buys. On AJ, I'm going to be looking for price to come back here. Now, it is a ways, right? I'm talking 100 pips, 115 pips for us to get back down here. Ideally, I want to see us come back to mitigate this shakeout move right here, right? It's an order flow play for me, so no limit order. There's no limit order that I'm willing to take, because the stop loss, I think when I looked at it, stop loss was like over 10 pips. So, just to the 80% is 5.5, which isn't too bad, but to the 50%, we're over almost 16 pips. And AJ, even on prop firm spreads, you're looking at about a little over 1 pip each. So for me, not worth it. I'll just sit here and wait for an accumulation. Even if I got to take it lower time frame off the seconds, I'll take it and we'll ride it up. So that's essentially what I'm waiting for on AJ continuation plays. Until we see some weakness, I'm going to still play the continuation plays. And where I'm going to be looking, so just pay attention, this right here is what's maintaining our leg, right? This is what's maintaining our leg that broke this reaccumulation here. So what we're looking at is essentially a very large reaccumulation, right? We have 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. We have a drawn out creek. We've jumped the creek. I'm just waiting for the BOS. Get the BOS. We have a confirmed reaccumulation. And obviously I'll be looking for points of interest number 1, points of interest number 2 to take long-term, right? That's what I'm going to be waiting on. But I'll play the order flow. I'll play the little continuation moves until I get it. Okay. Going on with AU, right? AU, kind of the same thing, right? I've been waiting on AU buys. Again, I know a lot of people were trying to sell this. It did play out for a while. I think when I looked at it, it was like a 1 to 10. I hoped it played out even more, because I had a buy order that I was waiting at out of here, and we just didn't get it. So, we can see the continuation plays, right? Reaccumulation, 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 and so forth. I haven't been able to land this because we haven't had any pullbacks since down here. If AU can now, because we've broken this high, if AU can come down here and give me an accumulation out of this accumulation here, I'll take it up from here, right? So this is going to be the first area I'm going to be really focusing on AU buys. And from a higher time frame, like that intraday perspective, you can see we've broken this high right here, right? So this for me was lower time frame structure. We've made a new leg, right? So this is what's maintaining my lower time frame structure point right here. All right. That's kind of how I'm looking to play it. Bear with me here. There we go. Okay, cool. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is maintaining my lower time frame structure now. And ideally, we have some really good confluence between this push and this reaccumulation right here. So I kind of want to see price eventually come back down into this area here so I can take it up for the buy. So many in one leg. How do you just look at the main cause, right? What was the main cause? For me, keep in mind, we're looking at lower time frame structure. So a really good thing that I like to use is when you look at the schematic, right? And these, honestly, these are going to be difficult because they're so symmetrical to each other, right? They look pretty identical. The easy ones to tell are when you have a scenario where you have, an accumulation into a really small reaccumulation, and then you'll have this just massive elongated where you can see the multiple orders getting filled, right? This one here is my slingshot. This is the cause of that break, because this is where I can tell, buyers came into the market, right? This is where they filled those orders. So in here, they're very symmetrical, so, the easy answer is, for me, the first area I'm going to be looking at is out of order flow. And this is order flow right now. So I'm going to be looking at it here. And if I can catch it and then take it higher, great. If not, if I don't catch anything in here and we come lower, right, then I'm really going to be fixated on this point here. So that's how I'm going to look at it. So that's AU. That's what I'm going to be looking at with the AU. CAJ, same thing, right? I'm looking for continuation plays on CAJ. So I did take on my little scalp strategy that I was playing. I did take a quick little buy last week on CAJ out of here. I don't know if I went over this last week. Pretty decent little move, essentially out of this lower time frame accumulation that occurs here. Almost stopped me out on the demo account that I'm trading it on, but gave a really nice little 1 to 64. Actually, it'd be a whole lot higher if I held it, but I ended up closing it out on Friday. And you can see, shoot, I mean, this thing would be at a 1 to 100 on it. But we're having later, man, have a good one. We're having a nice little reaccumulation in the play right now. So you have a distro here, you have a redistro here, right? You have another redistro, and then you have an accumulation. Out of that accumulation, we saw a reaccumulation, and overall, this entire thing, I just want us to make a new high. So there's a little, I was looking at it this morning for buys potentially out of here, but there's a little bit of a discrepancy on the brokers, right? So we can see here on a Wanda, we have equal lows essentially here. But if we come over to FXCM or Forex.com, Frankfurt actually swept Asian lows. So, and in this case, this definitely London or New York Open would have been the mitigation. So what I'm going to be looking at, and this is, I guess I did it on this chart. What I'm going to be looking at here is I want to get a buy area out of this. So, I've got an alert sitting right here. Price comes back into this area. I'm going to be looking to buy out of this 15-minute candle. Right. That's essentially where I'm going to be looking. And it's just going to be continuation plays, right? I'm going to continue to play continuation plays on these until we break order flow, right? We look at higher time frame and where's CAJ heading to? I mean, we have essentially this area here or this area here. And for me, that's a good solid 200 pips, right? I'm pretty confident we're just going to blow right through this. So the next area that I want to play out of is going to be this massive distribution here, right? This is your UTAD. We broke. And if you look at it, let's just mark it out. So if you look at it, this was the 50% mitigation of our UTAD. So I want to be looking for price to come back predominantly into this, and we're looking, around the 99, 73 to 100 level. And, I mean, CAJ hasn't been there in a long time, almost 10 years, so that's where I want to take this. And then just looking at the chart, I mean, look at that daily, I mean, you can see how clean this reaccumulation going on in here, right? I want to see eventually, once we get to somewhere where we do get a sell-off, I want to buy out of here, or I want to buy out of here. Am I done going over indices? No, man. I haven't even touched them. So yeah, CAJ, I'm going to be looking for the continuation plays. I mean, that's how I'm going to be looking at it. And we'll see. I definitely want to try to catch a play on one of these JPY crosses. Later, man. Have a good one. NJ, continuing, right? NJ is the same thing. I was looking for a nice little play out of these lows over here. If I can get it, great, right? If I can get the play coming back into this, I'll take it. If not, I'm just going to sit there. Do I typically play continuation on the 15-minute? I don't know. What's the difference between the 1 hour continuation and the 1 minute? To me, this is still the reaccumulation out of all this price action. On the 1 minute chart, this is still the reaccumulation. And on the 15-minute, it's still the same reaccumulation. And on the 1 hour, still the same reaccumulation. So no, I mean, I wouldn't say it's on the 15-minute. I just play the reaccumulation. I play the last continuation play. Yeah. No, it's not. So Mahi, it's not going to be a limit order. It's going to be wait for the accumulation. Yeah. It'd be one thing if we broke here and we came back immediately. Yeah, I'd play it. But now that we've had this entire expansionary move, I'm gonna need price to give me an accumulation here. That's like if that CAJ play or CAD chef play was easy, right? We broke the high, came right back and mitigated and took off from there. So yeah, all of these JPYs, realistically, I'm gonna be waiting for some schematics to be printing out in there. Otherwise, we're not. Yeah. Bear with me. Got to kick on my AC. I've got these Ethereum miners in my office still. I got to move them into my garage, and they're pumping out a little bit of heat right now. So, all right, cool. So that's NJ. NU, much like AU, I've been waiting. I wanted us to come back and mitigate out of this reaccumulation here. Same thing. Now we did break this high, right? We did break this high in New York session today. So I have a limit order set off of this accumulation way down here. So what is it? Off of the 12-minute. So out of, we have a type 2, right? You have a 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive type 2, right? but then you have a micro accumulation in here. So I actually have a limit order set off of that candle right there. So 80% of the 12-minute for me is also 80% of the 11-minute, which is also 80% of the 8-minute, which when you go to the 1-minute, there's your type 1 schematic, right? So it's a 1.9 pip stop. I've got the limit order set. It's gonna continue to be there until structure invalidates that position. So, we're going on 3 weeks since prices returned here. This entire spring needs to get mitigated, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But right now, this is what's maintaining structure on the lower time frame for me, because where is it? Let's go 1 hour, right? Yeah, so this leg broke structure. We came back and now we made a new high right there. So I'm looking, eventually, if we do come back down here relatively soon, I want to catch that play to go higher. And then target wise, just look at what NU is doing on higher time frame, right? We've got the complete market cycles. So we've got the distro, we've got another larger distro, and then we essentially have an accumulation, right? There's your trading range. We broke structure, the test, and then we go, right? And when we look at it, so I don't know if you guys could see that. When people ask me, why do I play the 80s? Because when you measure the spring, this comes exactly to 80%. Right now, I'll never in a million years was I going to take that trade, because that would have been a 57 pip stop loss. But what happens on the 1 minute happens on the 4 hour. So that's why I was waiting for that accumulation, and we found it, right? I had it. The damn thing just never came back and got my test entry. So it is what it is. Were you taught to use Wicks as a break of structure, or was that something you picked up on your own? So I mean, I definitely confirmed it on my own. But I had like people tell me don't use Wicks, and then I had people that told me to use Wicks. So for me, the decision to use Wicks was very simple. I don't care what the candle. I'm not a candle pattern trader. I don't trade the patterns. I don't trade the body formations. I don't care if it's a Mariposa, a Doji, a Three Horsemen. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is simply what's the market doing, and the only thing that matters in the market is contracts, because that's how the market trades itself, is in contracts. So for me, a wick is a contract, right? It's a price point. It's an order that got filled somewhere and somehow. So I use wicks. Okay. And if you don't use wicks, then, and if it works for you, great. I can, there's nothing wrong with that. So, you got to ask yourself though, why don't you use Wicks? And if you don't use Wicks, or if you do use Wicks, you got to ask yourself, why do you use Wicks? So for me, like I said, it's a contract, it's a price point. So it broke structure for me. That's how I look at it. But yeah, NU, that limit order is there. I would highly suggest, if you're planning on trading NU in the future, go back there, screenshot that, right? Because it may be, that Chef JPY was 150 days before it came back to hit my entry. So it may be a little time, and you may not be able to get down on the lower time frame when it comes back. Okay. So I would definitely screenshot it, have that in your notes, have that in your journal ready to go when price comes back into it. That's NU. Before we hit indices, gold. So gold, honestly, I'm not doing anything with gold. Gold, I was looking for the distribution. I had a really nice distribution out of here. The stupid thing never got filled. Yeah, I never got filled on it. Had a nice little distro right in here. Just never got filled. And this distro didn't break structure. It didn't break order flow, didn't do anything. So for me, I'm just going to be sitting, waiting. We can see that. Yeah, I mean, for me, I need this low to get taken. I need us to do that. So there was a little, or maybe like a little 1 minute buy. I had the 93 minute and the 46 minute was my full volume candle for the hedge. The only issue is I just didn't get into the sell, so I didn't take the buy. And now it's just going to be lingering. And I'll be honest, like gold in the near future potentially will give me an entry, but right now nothing. We've got the distro, broke order flow, redistro, another redistro. We had an accumulation, potentially a reaccumulation. This was the mitigation of that. And now I'll be looking for price potentially to maybe distribute a little higher. And if that happens, great. If it doesn't, then, gold can just sit back. But I'm long term, I'm waiting for gold to come down into the 1500s before I really start buying some stuff on it. So that's gold, right? And then indices, we'll talk about, I know someone asked about US 30. So for me on US 30, I got this alert, right? When that alert goes off, I'm going to be looking for buys. All right. You can definitely see the momentum shift. Why? I have no idea. I mean, when you talk about manipulating the market, we are definitely manipulating the market. So you look over at the VIX. Let's see, where's equities? You look over at the VIX, and the VIX is just falling out of the sky. Couldn't tell you why. US inflation is up, I think, what was it, like 5%? We're talking about supply chain issues, so I don't understand that if you have a product, right? And this is just simple economics, right? This is stuff I used to like. When you have a product that costs more to make, costs more to ship, right? Costs more to purchase for the consumer. How does that equal the VIX going down? I have no clue. I from an economic standpoint, I'd love for an economics person to really, and I think I have a really good macro and microeconomics background. I would love for somebody to explain how our current financial and economical state translates to our volatility decreasing and our indices increasing with that. So it is what it is. I'll be looking to see if we can trade above this distribution. If we do trade above the distribution, I already have my area that I'm looking at out of this reaccumulation. Right. So your distribution was here, your creek was here. This was New York session for me. 13-minute candle is what I'm looking at. So that 13 minute right there. So we trade above that. That's going to be the first area I'm going to be looking for the buy, and essentially we're almost there. We do something like that. If we can get down here by tomorrow, tomorrow equities open, I'll be looking for a buy in here to take this higher. Doesn't low earnings profits affect the company's shares on the SPX and therefore have an impact? Yes. Yep. Yeah. So if let's just say that, company X has a earnings, projection of, AB squared, right? And if they miss that earnings, right, what happens? That is a that's showing that first it's showing weakness in their product, but the second thing is it's directly correlated to their share value. So what you're going to see is a share value decreasing. All right. So if X, Y, and Z all have that and their share value decreases, the SPX, if they're part of those 500 companies, right? And they're not all those indices, US 30, the 30 companies, SPX 500, the 500, NASDAQ 100, the 100 companies, they're not an equal share. You can just Google it and you'll see GE on US 30, GE may be only, 0.5% value, where Boeing may be 1.1% of the total, markup. So, but yeah, when you have all that decreasing, how the volatility index continues to go lower and SPX 500 continues to go higher. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. So, but it is what it is. So on US 30, I'm going to be looking out of this reaccumulation right here for a buy. Once I wake up in the morning and I see that this alert has gone off, that's where I'm going to be buying from. Yeah. And then SPX is the same thing. I mean, I'm pretty confident SPX is already traded above that high. Yeah. We traded above this stuff. Now, this is going to be the make or break. If on SPX, same thing like US 30, if on SPX we see, right, because this is the distribution that led to that break, right? So if we do see something here in the form of a distro, I'm going to give it some risk. Because this is one of the easier plays to take, because if we distribute here and we trade above this high, then my sells are done, right? I'm no longer looking for sells. I'm just going to set up for buys. Whether the buys be out of this reaccumulation here, or I've got that area that I'm looking at there, which I think this is what I was looking at this morning, right? Is this not? Yeah, it was. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I was doing. I think I got busy. Maybe I was cleaning the pool out, or I don't know what, but I had this marked out, and this stupid thing came exactly to 80% of where I was looking. I don't know why I didn't take the buy, but that buy would have been a really nice buy last week. So yeah, I don't know what the heck I was doing. I think I just got busy. So yeah, SPX, we're in the area. This is where I want to see it. So, after London, I'll pay attention to it. I'll look to see, but I personally don't like to trade indices outside of New York session. So I'll see how New York, how we come into New York. If we start to see signs of distribution during New York, then I'm definitely going to start, perking my interest to look for those sells. It can, absolutely, but the liquidity grab. So, that's, maybe we just have two different school of thoughts, right? I don't care about catching. Like if price comes up here and drops, right? It's not going to drop below here. So I don't care about this move to this move. What I care about is catching this move to that move, right? Why? Because let's just look at it like this. And I think I've done this before, but let's say that we take equal highs and you catch this down to here, which is, let's just say it's a 1 to 10 that you catch, right? I would rather catch this play here and catch the 1 to 10, take some partials, catch this move here, the 1 to 10, take some partials, catch this move here, the 1 to 10, take some partials, right? Because I'm going with the trend, I'm going with the bias, I'm not fighting anybody. But more importantly, you've only caught the 1 to 10, where I've caught the 1 to 10, 1 to 20, 1 to 30 on this one, because I didn't need to close out of this trade, right? I'm in the directional bias. I'm just partialing out. This one here, I caught the 1 to 20, and this one here, I caught the 1 to 10. So in reality, I've risked 3 of whatever I risk, so in my case, 1/4% each, I risked 0.75% to ultimately catch 60 times my value of whatever I risked. So that's my school of it. Like I'm not trying to, could it absolutely distribute out of here? Yes. Am I going to do it? No. Nope. I tried it here. I think we did it in SPX. I threw a little bit of risk at it and it played out pretty nicely. But if we're going to make all-time highs, I'm going to be looking for the long-term play on it. Can you explain the SPX POI? My first POI is going to be out of here. Right? Is that what you're asking? Like, why is this my POI? On SPX, why were you looking for buys? Because of the hedge. I was hedging it. Because I'm in, where is it? Yeah, I'm in the, I don't even know where it's at. Yeah, because when we were down here, I was in the sell from, I was in the sell from here. I was in the sell from here and then from here. That's why. So I can look for the buys. I can hedge in, especially when the order flow, when we get that break of order flow right here. When we get that break of order flow, we invalidate supply. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that hedge into another sell. Yeah. First POI is a slingshot candle which broke structure. Second is the oh, okay, hold on. The first POI is the slingshot candle which broke structure. This, are you talking about on the bigger chart when we were looking? My bad, man. Hold on. What was the question? Okay, you got me. Yeah. Would your entry be on the 5-minute candle and the reaccumulation take it higher? Wait. Would my entry out of here? Let's see. You're talking about out of this, the 5-minute here? I don't see a 5-minute candle at play, but would your entry be on the 5-minute candle? Oh, on US 30? Hold on. No, US 30, it's going to be the 13-minute candle. 13. This one here. Yeah, which 5-minute are you looking at? Unless a different feed has a 5-minute candle in there. Is it a different feed in here? Nope. Yeah, no, it's all pretty much the same. Yeah. Oh, you're looking at lower time frame. Where are you looking on lower time frame? Are you using the 13-minute candle because it is the most volume filled? Yeah. So it is the most, so it's the most most voluminous candle, right? And you could see it's the last push, right? So price. So what do we have here, right? So this is the last push, right? This is our last push before price takes off. So we know that this is where they initiated their sell to shoot down, right? So we know that's what's got to be mitigated. But more importantly, what happens down here? Right? It's an accumulation. Yep, absolutely. So, and where does that accumulation? So if we come, so we know that this is 80% of the 13-minute candle, right? And if we come, let's go. I mean, can you, yeah, it's right here, bro. So here's your type 2, right? I mean, you've got your trading range, right? SC to AR, ST, UA, STB, right? So we want to mitigate. Now, I'm personally taking it off the 13. Could price come lower? Absolutely, right? Could price come into, potentially we've got imbalance from here to here, right? Could price come into that 50% all day long? I just don't want to miss the trade. So I'm perfectly content taking it off of this. But I will tell you that maybe I will. Maybe I will have a small little entry off of that. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, this is yeah. I mean, this is key. And then I mean, even if we come down to the 1 second, I mean, 1 second price action on it is going to be pretty darn clean. and you can just see it. I mean, you could see how easily the market was manipulated here on the 1 second. And, so you have 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, you even have a reaccumulation that comes in here. So, I mean, if you really, these are times where like I would throw, like if you're trading a 200K account, this is where I throw like a little $100 at it off of a 8.6, point stop loss. This is how I catch those like ridiculous entries. You don't need a risk. You don't need to go too crazy with it. On $100 risk, you catch a 1 to 100, you just flipped $100, realistically to $1,000. So same thing, you're seeing, actually, no, it's $10,000 on $100 risk. Yeah. So I may put something on there off that 50%. I don't know yet, but it's there. That's why I like that 13-minute candle, because it's not just because it's the most voluminous candle. It's because it would mitigate the last push, right, of the open of the candle that created the micro accumulation. It is essentially the last push before price ended up continuing the buys up. But more importantly, it is the cause of the reaccumulation, right? It is the origination from, let's go to the 15-minute, right? It is the origination point that did this right here to here. This is what's maintaining this leg right now. So, again, it's just order flow. So, but I'm still willing to take it. Do I have any criteria for a new leg to be valid? I used to use a 50% retracement, market cycle, man. That's what I use. I follow the market cycle. I've got to have a complete market cycle for me to, essentially have that leg create a new leg. Yeah. So that's indices. I mean, that's what I'm going to be waiting on. I'm pretty confident that we are going to take that high. And like I said, SPX, I'll be looking tomorrow after London to see if we can start to see some slowing down. And if not, I mean, I guess the easiest scenario would be that, we pop up above this, invalidate supply, and then on the way down is where I'm going to be looking for those buys. Take a look at UCAD. Yeah, we can take a look at UCAD. I think it's on my secondary list. I know somebody wanted to look at GCAD. No chart. Nobody has a chart on GCAD that they want to give me the directional bias. So we broke lower time frame structure. I was looking for an accumulation, I guess. Yeah. So I was looking, I don't remember when we were looking at this, but you could see I had the schematic. I just needed the break of structure, and we just never got a break of structure. So no trade. So I guess I can delete that alert. All right. So hold on. Let's just see where we are on a higher time frame. Yeah, I was looking at this morning, actually, and I had this marked up from a very long time ago. When was this? July 6th. Hold on, let me just see if I wrote notes on my stupid. I didn't look at this morning. Give me a second. UCAD July 6th. Do I have anything UCAD July 6th? I don't think I do. This is 24,344, 24,344. No, okay. No, I didn't write any notes. I don't have anything on it. So this was just an area that I was looking at a long time ago. You could see we saw a reaction from it, but I'll be honest, like on UCAD at this point, I'm looking for price to come lower into here. I'll tell you this, I'm not looking for buys right now because I'm not fighting the CAD. The Canadian dollar is ever so strong. And, the reason behind that is because what's going on with oil. Oil is, actually here, let me go to this one. Oil, that's what you got for an oil chart, and as this continues to go up, so does the Canadian dollar. And I'm not going to try to fight the Canadian dollar. I mean, we could see we've broken some significant structure on oil, right? We've broken significant structure. This was the leg down. We've just broken that high. You tried what? Hold on. Oh, my bad. Okay, hold on. There we go. You tried this. What did you try? Okay, so so we're gonna wait for the sell up here. Is that what we're saying? So we're waiting from price action from 2006. Sounds good. Let me know when we get there. I'll set an alert at 2.20 and let me know when we get there. Yeah, this is exactly my point. This ranged for 4.5 years, and we've been ranging for 4.5 years. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll show you a little trick. When I see a chart that does this, right? What I do is this. I come over here, and actually I'll even show it to you, so maybe you guys won't have it, right? You put if you have GCAD on your chart, right? If you have GCAD on your chart, you come over, and when you want to organize your chart, if you hover over the GCAD name, it kind of pops up, and you see this X, you just click that X right there, and that'll help you with how you take care of GCAD. China wouldn't taken over the world by then. Yeah, China would have taken over the world, man. So speaking of China, man, I know all of you guys that live in Australia are definitely going through some junk, but I've heard a lot of information that China, because I know the Australian GDP is heavily dependent on China exports. I heard that China is definitely pushing in more of their, I guess, might into the Australian government. I'm curious to see what comes out of it. Yeah, I'm very curious to see. Yeah, I know. I bet, man. No, it is, bro. It is. So, wait a minute. What's this? Are you on the Binance Smart Chain? Am I on the Binance Smart Chain? I mean, I have like a Binance on my MetaMask. Yeah. I mean, is that what you're asking? I mean, I'll tell you this, I don't own any BSC. Yeah. And I don't use Binance US as a exchange just because they're stupid. So yeah. They're implementing Vax passports. Yeah. Listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. It is ridiculous. Yeah. So, but anyway, going back to UCAD, I'm not going to try to fight this. You know, I'm not going to try to fight the Canadian dollar. I'm pretty confident that we're going to come down to this area here. And if we do, right, if we come into this area here, you know, this is what's maintaining that intraday structure. I would be looking for buys, you know, somewhere down in here, but we're a ways. I mean, we're 350 pips from that area. So that's why this is sitting on my secondary list. Like I have nothing I want to do with it. Kraken, outside of Coinbase Pro, Kraken. Yeah. I just did, shoot, I just bought a couple of hotspots on Kraken. I had to use US dollar tether, and, you know, like $25 is what crypto.com charged me. Who else? I was looking at someone else, to move some tether. Kraken charged me $7. So yeah, I mean, Kraken's my Coinbase Pro is my primary exchange to buy stuff on. Kraken's my second. And then, you know, obviously Kraken stakes. So, you know, if you guys didn't see that, I put this out a while ago, or I guess last week. So if you're looking for flow, right? If you want to buy flow USD, Kraken is paying, I think, 6% to stake it. So that's where all my flow is sitting right now. Yeah. Kraken has yeah, they're a large exchange. You can't get Coinbase Pro in New Zealand, really? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was in the beginning of the stream. Flow is really at big expectations for Flow. Yeah. So So flow here, I'll give you a quick little rundown here on flow. So flow has marked its way up to number 45 on the market cap, right? Number 45 on the list. Really good market cap. It's sitting at $13, right? Now, why is flow so important? Here's my take on it. So flow, hold on. Let's go to markets. All right. So flow, I mean, tremendous. Binance has a tremendous amount of freaking volume on it right now. Look at that. So Kraken just started it. Look, so Kraken just started trading it yesterday. Actually today, Kraken the 19th, this Kraken just started trading flow on it, and it's already got 24-hour volume, $18 million. Now, the reason that flow is so big right now on my books is, so when we look at Dapper Labs, right? So Dapper Labs, Dapper Labs is the creator of Flow. They are in the blockchain NFT space. Top Shot, right? If you never heard of Top Shot, it's the NFT for the NBA. So you come over to Top Shot. So it's an official license from the NBA. These stupid things are ridiculous in price. I'll never buy one. I mean, some of these things are, I mean, $20,000. You know what I mean? Stupid. But anyway, you go all the way down here, right? And it is Dapper Labs, right? They created an NBA Top Shot. They're also, there's the flow. They're also UFC. They're coming out with a thing with UFC. They're also creating CryptoKitty NFTs. But the big thing is they have NBA and UFC. And when you look, hold on, where is it at? I know they had it a while ago. 700 million in total sales on this, 40 million in these stupid little CryptoKitties. They're doing this. Then coming soon, UFC digital collectibles. But also they have, I know they had NFL on here too. They're in talks with NFL. Yes. Yeah, I pick up my comics all the time, bro. Every twice or 3 times a week when they come out. So anyway, flow. Yes, I am looking at flow, and if you look at the chart, you know, like I said in the beginning, I'm not that I'm throwing the bank at it, but where the hell is flow? Hold on, there it is, right there. You know, we are in a really, really nice area. So we've jumped the creek. You know, this is in a really good area at a discount. You know, I'm cost dollar averaging in. So, you know, it came out in February, if I believe correctly. You know, we saw the distribution, we see the accumulation in here. You know, I wanted to buy ideally out of this area here. And if we come down to like $8, I'll even buy some more at 8. But all-time high was $42, you know, and I can see this continuing to go higher and higher and higher. So yeah, that's my take on flow. I'm happy. Listen, I'm happy with it just getting up to all-time highs. That's a 230% increase, you know, so it ain't no SHIB, right? It ain't no Shiba, that's for sure. That was a nice little 455%. What you got? What is this? Here it is. You know, what am I looking at? Yeah, it's on their actual site. Yeah. So this is all the stuff that they're in talks with right now. So, you know, lots of information. Yeah, actually, I think I dropped this actual link on that video I did. I did a video on YouTube. You can watch it. I kind of broke it down. It's about like 30 minutes breaking it down why I really liked flow. So lots and lots of really good potential. And here's all the stuff. I'm sure everyone on the NFT side knows OpenSea. You know, there's a lot of really good collaborations that are going on with Flow, and it's all being pushed by Dapper Labs. And then here's all their investors, you know, so, you know, they have a really, really good base. They have a good project. They have a good team working it. Yeah, so we'll see how it plays out. Can you just go to, if you ever want to know where you can buy something, just type in, I use CoinGecko, go to markets, right? Come over here to markets. And these are all the exchanges that are listed. My suggestion, always go to an exchange that has a high volume. I tried buying DPR off Hotbit, and it was like 25,000 worth of volume on it. And I felt like a market mover. Like I had to put, I ended up taking like 100 trades to buy $1,500 worth of DPR. So, because I had to actually look at the, actual order books and see, okay, well, I wanted to buy at 12 cents, but there was a guy up here that was willing to sell $100 worth at 12.21. So I had to put a buy order at 12.21 instead of $12 so I can fill $100 worth. And then I just kept going up and down looking at the market to see where the sell orders were so I can hit a buy. And it literally took me 3 hours to buy $1,500 worth of doing that stupid stuff. So look for something that has high volume in it. Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, this is just the chart. Yeah, I got you, man. Yep. You bought it on MEXC. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So, but pretty much that's what I got. That's what I got for this week. You know, on the crypto side, yeah, I'm definitely having a really nice time with crypto. You know, making, obviously it's a little red today, but overall I'm up huge on it and I don't mind it. Like I've been really tearing up some crypto, staking a lot of it over and over and over. I mean, just the passive income getting off the staking side has been phenomenal. And then even on the mining side, you know, I've been mining for a month now and I'm up to 13 graphics cards that I've got. And I think when we looked at it this morning, I'm right around like $1,200 a month after power is what I'm making on it. So right now is a good time to go to get into mining, because if you guys have watched or looked at the releases on Ethereum is going to stay proof of work until at least middle of next year. So it's not going to go to complete proof of stake until at least middle of next year, if they go at all. You know, if they can't get everything situated, they're going to keep pushing it back. So, and Ethereum right now is the most profitable mined coin. So, but that being said, that's what I got. What's the best place to stake coins? It all depends on the coin. It all depends on what you want to do with it. You know, I mean, there's so many. What mining aside from Ethereum? I'm doing Ergo. So I'm doing Ethereum, I'm doing Ergo, and I'm doing Flux. So Flux is my like home run hitter. I'm looking at Flux. So I'm making about, right now I'm making about $50 a week in Flux, and it's on my cheap rig that I'm doing. Like I don't have a lot of cards on that rig, but Flux. Let's see, crypto mining Flux. Yeah, so Flux, this is kind of what I'm looking at for Flux. You know, I'm potentially seeing this continuing lower. And then ultimately I'd like to see this, you know, make a new high after this. But yeah, I mean, this push right here is definitely showing me some bullishness. So Flux is there. Ravencoin's another one that I'm doing. I'm mining Ravencoin, obviously Helium through my Helium hotspot. I'm mining DPR. And like I've been dabbling in Conflux as well, but I mean, there's so many things that you can mine. It's just, it all depends on what's profitable at the time. So like I have, you could see here, like I mine, Flux, Ravencoin, Conflux, Ravencoin Lite. You know, I have one rig that I kind of bounce around and just mine different coins at different times. So which one can I mine with what's a regular server? What do you mean by a regular server? Yeah, I don't know what you mean by a regular server. Oh, you mean a CPU? You have a 24 core, 192 gigabyte server. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, CPU mining isn't the most profitable. You can go, you'll have to go online and, you know, I don't CPU mine anything. Like if you look at my rigs, like my rigs that I have, like cheap, you know, like this has, this doesn't even show the CPU. Oh, here it is. My CPU, I've got an Intel Celeron on here that I paid like $30 for. This one here is another Pentium Gold that I paid like $60 for. This one here has an i3, I think. Yeah, an i3. This is just something I got. I did buy a Ryzen 9 that I'm going to use, but it's yeah, for if you're just CPU mining, you're not going to be making, I mean, you're looking at maybe like $1 a day, you know, on maybe like Monero or like Raptorium or something like that to mine. But yeah. Yeah, man, you got it. Yeah. CPU mining's not worth it. You know, I mean, it's one thing if you've got a CPU that on a motherboard that you're mining with graphics cards. I mean, you can do that, but CPU mining on itself, it's not efficient. Yeah, not efficient at all. So, but yeah, I mean, this is everything I'm mining right now. So, but that's it. I mean, that's pretty much everything I got. Unless someone's got something else they're looking at. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the positions that I'm holding, that I'm in. You know, I'll be looking for continuation plays, and I'll be looking for these mitigations off those continuation plays once price gives me the pullback. But other than that, that's all I got. What was I doing prior to trading? So I was in law enforcement for like, shoot, I mean, if you want to count all my time, 18 years. Yeah. So can you just show GA structure? GA structure. So what do you need to see on the GA structure? Yeah, I mean, from a intraday perspective, where this is right here. This is my leg on the intraday. And then lower time frame, this is my leg here on the lower time frame because we broke this low. So yeah. Yep. Yeah. I look like a cop. Yeah. That was a long time doing it. You think you could run for me? I don't know, man. 18 years. I only had 2 people get away from me in 18 years. And then I caught him up at later anyway. I caught him the next day. So yeah, by foot or by car and by boat. I've had a couple of boat chases as well. I've only had 2 people ever. Yeah. Yeah. I'll blow up a car. I'll blow up a car coming after people. So yeah, fences doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. I had some awesome dash cam video. So actually, if you ever want to, well, yeah, there's a couple YouTube videos of me out there and stuff, but yeah. Anyway, and now I catch pips. Absolutely, man. Now I do this, bro. It's so much easier. And definitely more lucrative. So exactly. 1 to 487, bro. Yep. Well, the chase, I'll be honest, I'd have to like look them up. I know if you ever go, you know, like True TV does the world's dumbest criminals. I want to say like 2012 and 2013 I was on there. Yeah, you could just go like watch old reruns, and yeah, Yeah, there's a couple good ones on there. But that being said, guys, listen, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to try and get up early tomorrow, see if I can catch that pre-New York Open, see if there's something in there to kind of play. If not, like I said, just be patient. One of the things I always try to stress is, don't force anything. I've the minute I stopped forcing trades, I started taking less trades, and the trades I did get into were just bombers of trades, man. I mean, they were trades that were making me significant amount of profits with less time on the charts and less time doing, and more time of doing what I wanted to do. So awesome, guys. Listen, enjoy the evening, and I'll catch you guys later.